Hello there boys and girls, this is Ryan from 8-Bit Gaming, and today I bring you a video. It is a video based on what do we expect in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and this is from many images off Scott's website himself. So yeah, let's get into it. I've gone onto a website called designtrends.com, and they're very informative, and I'll just read off what it says here and I'll link it down below. But before I start reading this, my idea itself is that it will be based in the future. The reason being is that in Five Nights at Freddy 1 you play in 1993 or somewhere around that period. And then in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 you play 1987, but then in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 you play mini-games that date back to when Freddy's Fazbear's Diner was around. Freddy's Diner, well, I forgot what it was called. But yeah, that's my theory, so I think it's based in the future. So I'll read off this and just tell me what you guys think. So, on December the 6th, Five Nights at Freddy's creator Scott Cawthon posted a mysterious offline image to his website that fans can see above. Upon a further dissection of the page, it was discovered that the phrase 30 years later was hidden deep inside its code. What might this mean for a possible Five Nights at Freddy's 3? The most obvious conclusion to jump to is that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 story will take place 30 years from some point in the established and muddy timeline. This could mean that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 takes place in 2023 or 2017. 2023 is 30 years from Five Nights at Freddy's 1993 setting, and 2017 will place the third game 30 years after Five Nights at Freddy's 2. That being said, because Scott Cawthon's Five Nights at Freddy's timeline has been so inconsistent, some theories suggest that the line of code is completely meaningless. Only one left. Also buried deep within the offline page's code was the phrase only one left. This assertion is a lot vaguer than the previous one, so there are a ton of theories to go along with it. One possible thought is that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 story takes place at the Fredbear's family diner seen in the Take Cake to the Children minigame of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This is because that diner seems to only feature Freddy as an animatronic. In the scope of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 there may only be one robotic enemy to deal with. That would make animatronic attacks pretty easy to deal with though, wouldn't it? There are a few smaller theories to consider too. A more obvious assumption is that there may only be one Five Nights at Freddy's left in the series. This would make Five Nights at Freddy's 3 the clear coast to a trilogy. Additionally, some folks feel that maybe the animatronics have invaded one more pizzeria at some date set in the future. The Golden 3. As you can see from the image above, the 3 on the black background appears to be a shade of gold when saturation alterations in Photoshop reveals its location. One thing that Five Nights at Freddy's fans know is that gold has a very clear significance in the scope of the game's universe. Chiefly, it brings up the long theorised discussion of Golden Freddy. In both Five Nights at Freddy's games, Golden Freddy appears as a hallucination-like figure with some very strange behaviours. Because the 3 in the picture is gold, there's speculation that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 could delve deeper into the story of Golden Freddy. That being said, previous sightings of the character don't prove that Golden Freddy is real at all. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the phone guy mentions that an employee has stolen a spare yellow suit.
The place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean the real animatronic has ever existed in the content of the experience. Golden Freddy is one of the series' biggest mysteries, so guessing some backstory on why he may or may not exist would certainly be interesting. Will a generator be featured in Five Nights at Freddy's 3? Among the other phrases, the words generator could be extracted from the offline's page source code. This has caused some community members to speculate that a generator might be a mechanic in the next version of the game. After all, Scott added that Freddy head and music box to Five Nights at Freddy's 2. In that regard, it's possible a generator could be an upcoming feature. The thought is that it might function as a way for players to escape death in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. When players run out of battery power in the previous game, chances are high that a loss is coming. Maybe the generator will be like the doors in the first Five Nights at Freddy's and the Freddy head in the second game. Scott has always given the Freddy Fazbear security staff a momentary safety net from the animatronics. Maybe in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 a generator will be it. As for when Five Nights at Freddy's will be released, there's been lots of speculation on the matter. Some people believe that the only one left phrase may mean that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is potentially due 1 month or year from when the statement was originally posted. This suggested that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 might release on January the 6th or December the 6th of 2015. That being said, Scott doesn't have a solid history of holding to release plans. All indications previously said Five Nights at Freddy's 2 wouldn't arrive until 2015. As fans all know, it's been available since long before then. In this case, more vague release windows might actually be more accurate. If gamers consider that a little more than 3 months separated the release of Five Nights at Freddy's and Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there's a decent reason to believe Five Nights at Freddy's 3 would take about the same time to develop. Most fans agree that an early 2015 arrival is likely, possible by February or March. So yeah, that was a website called Design Trend, and it explains more than more than anyone needs to know, in honesty. I will try and find the images they were talking about. There's one image here now, the offline image. But yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, I personally believe that the game will be released in February, or God knows when. I mean, it depends how long it takes to create it, 'cause it's going to be the last in the series, I reckon. So he might want to put his all into it. But yeah, just tell me what you guys think below, and can't wait for it to be released. So yeah, be sure to like and subscribe, guys, and